Women's soccer is set for a Saturday match. Well, we think it's going to be Saturday against Anderson here at the LMU Soccer Complex. Of course, it's subject to some change. But before we get into that, Coach Fraser, Tuesday, a 4-0 win over Albany State. At Albany State in your last non-conference tune-up before you really get it fully into the Southland Conference play. A hat trick from Jessica Cravero, her second in the season, second in 4 matches. So what did you see from your team in Tuesday's win?
I thought we played well in all aspects of the game. It was difficult playing with the conditions, and it was so hot. We were 2 or 3 days removed from another long trip. We were quite concerned. Obviously, the Catawba one was 5.5 hours to get there, and then 5.5 back, and then this one was about 8 or 9 either way as well in the space of like 3 or 4 days. So we were a little bit concerned with fatigue. All those other things, all those other factors that come into it, for the players. But we've ended up coming out with 2 wins and two shutouts in those games, and we've really learned a lot about our programme from both those games in all aspects.
Jessica Guevara, we just mentioned, now leads the team with 8 goals, has 2 hat tricks, and has scored in 4 straight games. What have you seen from your freshman forward?
Yeah, I think I was saying this morning, she's had 10 shots on target and scored 8 goals as well. So she's done well. Again, she you can see by the way that she celebrated the goals how much she credits her teammates. The goal against Catawba was a beautiful team goal, and ended up with both forwards combining. And it was just at the perfect time to score. And then her third goal against Albany State was one of the best team goals we've scored for a long time. We went all the way through the field with good penetration, good quality passing. Ball came across the box from Daisy Drake, and she was able to slot it in. But we're seeing huge growth in all areas of the pitch now.
Well, and obviously the offense is kind of getting a lot of the headlines, and deservedly so, with Cravero and Itzel Ballesteros, but also 2 straight shutouts for your team, 4 on the season so far. You're trying to get your 3rd straight shutout for the first time since 2010. So what have you seen from your defense?
It's been good. I mean, but you look at the Carson Newman game and pressing the forwards. We're trying to tell our team like that the forwards are the first defenders. The defensive players are the last defenders really. So the forwards, with the mobility that we have, they're working hard, they're getting compact, they're pressing when we can press. We're also retaining the ball a little bit better. So the whole thing, and we're managing games better as well, I think. So the whole thing contributes to the last 4 times we've won, we've kept a clean sheet. So everything's contributing, so we're pretty happy with that.
Well, now let's talk about Anderson. Obviously, they've had a unique season. Their first 4 opponents, they get shut out against 4 teams that are regional powerhouses. 3 teams ranked in the top 5 in the region. Now they've won back-to-back South Atlantic Conference games. Come into the Saturday's match like you guys on a 2-match winning streak. So, what are you looking at? What are you expecting to see against Anderson?
It's going to be a good game. They're above us in the SAC standings currently, so. It's a big one for both sides. They beat us last year in what was a really good game. They beat us in overtime. They've played a good schedule. The 4 games they lost, I think all 4 of those teams went to nationals last year. So they've come into conference as well and really hit the ground running. So, as far as I'm concerned, 2 and 4 is not a record that we should associate with a team as quality as that, and I'm sure by the end of the season they'll get their just rewards in terms of their record. But they're a tough team, and they're again riding a 2-game win streak. They won't have played since last Saturday as well, so they will have had a week to look at us and prepare and rest and recover and injuries heal up and stuff. So it's certainly going to be an intriguing match.
How do you feel like the process is coming along for your team? Obviously, a big opportunity to win your 3rd straight match and go to 2-1 in conference play this Saturday. So early in the season, how do you kind of feel like the process is proceeding?
It's been all right so far. We felt like there's been a part of it where the 2 games that we've lost, we've played really well in for large parts, and we've been able to learn a couple of valuable lessons from those as well. We've learned even more lessons from some of the games that we've won. So for me, like when you're starting with what we've usually been starting with 7 or 8 new players, they've been together 6 weeks now, so they're learning every single day. We're not wasting a minute on the practice field. We're ultimately in games we're using about 12 new players at the moment, on average in games. So it's all exciting stuff. We've got a long way to go. We're excited about where we could be in a month, but we're still thinking short term as well. And we're not going to look past Anderson. We're thinking about this next game, and hopefully we can put everything into it and get a good result.